Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the George W. Bush Presidential Center, the 7th all-time leading scorer in NBA history, one of the greatest athletes to ever come through Dallas, NBA Hall of Famer, Dirk Nowitzki.
That's too sweet. Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Look at this. This is a full house on a Saturday.
Oh, that's awesome.
It turns out people in this town like you. Did you?
Oh, a little bit, I guess.
All right, catch us up. You're on Amazon Prime. You're on TV. You're broadcasting. How's that going? I know it warms my heart that you and Steve Nash are back together.
It is. It's like the early 2000s all over again when we first got here, but it's been fun. It's been a good crew. I didn't really know that was in my future. If you would ask me 10 years ago if I would ever be in media broadcasting, I would have said there's no chance. So it's been a fun learning curve. Just learning terms, learning how TV stuff is produced, and all the lingo, and so it's been a lot. Started in October, going there almost once a week, and it's been fun though. It's a good crew. The bosses have been amazing to us, and just super supportive, and so I'm enjoying it, and we'll hopefully, some of you guys enjoy it too. We try to find a good way of having some fun, educating, just finding a good mix of not talking strictly hoops or X's and O's, also having some fun with the show, and so hopefully we find a good mix.
As a Mavs fan, I was expecting to really not like Udonis Haslem from the Heat, and it turns out I know I love the guy. He's got really good insight. Y'all have chemistry. It's awesome.
He's been amazing. I wasn't quite sure what to expect either, but I think all that stuff is just put behind us. So obviously, if you're a competitor, you're emotional, and stuff happens during the game. Stuff is said pre and post game, and obviously we're so far removed from that now, and we're part on the same family, same club, and just trying to really, like I said, bring the fans a new idea, new vision of the game, and hopefully it's been fun.
I know you broadcasted a few games where the famous "Take That With You" came in. Did that whet your appetite? Is that how you knew this? Hey, I might have a career in this.
I was messing around a little bit with Mavs TV, and they invited me like once a year to come on and just see if that's something that I like. And I really had fun doing it a couple times over the years, the Mavs, and then I guess this. I did one playoff game for TNT in the studio with Charles and Kenny. I flew to Atlanta last year for the playoffs, and I guess Amazon must have liked what they saw, and me having some fun and trying to be myself on camera, and then this came all about a little over a year ago, before Christmas, that flew to LA and met with the crew, and they were just so nice, and I thought, if it's interesting to be a part of something that's brand new, and it's kind of like a startup, and they wanted our input, and so I thought this was a great opportunity, and who knows, in 5-10 years, if I would have said no, maybe I would have regretted it. So I wanted to try it and see how it goes, and so far so good.
Did you think about coaching? Like Holger has been such an influence on you. Did you think about going out there and trying to teach everybody the Holger's methods as a coach instead of a broadcaster?
Well, I think that could still be in my future. I don't see myself as a team coach. I think you need, the knowledge, you need the passion for it, you need the hours are tough as a coach, especially in the NBA. It's, the patience with the players nowadays. You have connect, and so it's it's a different world now.
Gen Z, man.
Yeah, it's a different world. So I'm not quite sure I'm ready for that. But what Holger did for me, I can definitely see that in my future. Finding maybe a talented kid somewhere that wants to learn the game, wants to learn how to move and shoot, some mentoring. I think that could totally be in my cards. I think that's something that could be super interesting for me. But so far, obviously, we have 3 kids and young kids. We're busy. Now we're doing the Amazon thing. So there's plenty of stuff happening as of now, but I'm sure that mentoring and individuals, coaching can definitely be in my future.
We played the video before you came out of that prime rant of you and Holger talking about his the Institute of Applied Nonsense, and that is, I would love to see the next generation do that. You're here for the what we're here largely because we have our special exhibit here at the Busch Center, Game Changer, United by Sports, and the main point of that is to show how sports can unite us. And there really is no one who has united a city as much as this man right here. Am I right?
Thank you.
And so when did you in your career know that you came over from Germany, you're young, when did you know that this could be not just a city that you're playing basketball in, but it could be home?
Yeah, well, I didn't really know what to expect when I first got here from Germany. There was definitely a language barrier and cultural differences, and so it took me a while to kind of get comfortable. In my second, my third year, I had some good vets that I always appreciate with Steve and Mike Finley that were there for me and made me feel comfortable on and off the floor. The Mavs gave me lots of help, just simple things like finding an apartment and buying a car, all that stuff I never had to do, and so it was different. And then my parents were 11 flight hours away, and so it was hard at the beginning. And then obviously Mark bought the team in my second year, and we started to have a good relationship. And just he was super supportive on and off the floor from me always, and so. Then things started to get really good there. End of my rookie deal, and then I knew I loved the city. I was getting comfortable, and the fans always supported me from the beginning. Even though my rookie year was lots of up and down, there was the lockout year, which was super hard. But I felt always the support. Sometimes I didn't play for games. I'd come back in, and I'd get the standing ovations, and that meant a lot to me. That support, and from that point on, I felt like the city is loyal to me and wants me to succeed, and I felt that, and I wanted to pay that loyalty back. But then still, it was a long ride. Of course, I always said the only reason to ever leave would have been if we wouldn't have won the championship. But of course, then as it unfolded, that was in our cards, and so I never had a reason to go anywhere and look anywhere else.
The greatest championship run of all time, I think I would say, and
it was a good one.
When you look at it, you have Portland, and then you had the Lakers. Almost forgot about the Lakers with Kobe and Pau Gasol. You've got Oklahoma City with 3 future Hall of Famers. You got Miami, the super team that got put together. I know I look on Instagram, I don't know about you guys, but every time I pull up Instagram, it's showing highlights from that and saying, man, Dirk led the hardest championship run of all time. Like when you sit down here today, years later, what do you think about?
It was a magical run, honestly. It was just, we got every move that we made along the way that year was just the right move, bringing in Tyson Chandler before the season, which he hadn't played in like 2 years. He had toe surgery, and his dogs were barking, and they were not ready for NBA hoops. So that was a risk to bring him in and to see if he can even play. And obviously we know what he did and how special he was for that team, and all the guys on the buyout market. We brought in Peja Stojakovic, and so it was just every move that we made was happened to be the right one. And but we didn't know it at the season began. We had a good veteran team. We started the year off well, and then. Obviously, remember Karan Butler tore his patella tendon, and so we thought, here we go again. He was, I think he was our second leading scorer that year, and played really well for us. So in our heads, it's kind of like, here we go again. What else can happen? And then, but right around the playoffs, we started to be healthy with everybody who was available and started to play well. And then just the whole 2 months of playoffs was just a magical run. I felt like we got better from game to game, from round to round. Guys were playing so well off each other. Everybody knew their roles. The chemistry was great. We were messing around on game days in the morning at shoot-arounds. We were a veteran team that wanted to win, wanted to play with each other, wanted to share the ball, and that was definitely a fun group, and the chemistry was amazing, and I think it showed during the whole run.
And even J.J. Barea making the Lakers so mad that Andrew Bynum tried to take him out. I mean, what a journey. We were talking backstage a little, though, about how 2006 had to come first. When you're in Miami did you start having flashbacks to that series, and how did you keep that at bay if you did?
Yeah, well, you try to kind of, I guess, keep it out of your mind, but it doesn't work. You know, when you walk in for game one, and you obviously see the arena, and then you get flashbacks on what happened years ago. But you know, we just said, hey, this is a new series, this is a new team, it's a different team, and we wanted to go for it. Obviously, they were the heavy favorites with obviously all the guys they assembled, and we were very worried about their athleticism, especially on the perimeter. But we figured if we can, you know, share the ball like we have, keep the ball hopping, find the open guy, and you know, get the ball to me in the right situations. Kidding. You know, get back in transition. I think that's where they're at their best when they run, and we thought, if we do that, we might actually have a chance. And so I think the game two comeback obviously comes to mind. I think if we lose game two and go down 0-2 is a pretty slim chance you come back. So that we turned that game around, and you know, I think everybody then started to believe more and more than it's possible. And yeah, that I get a little itchy in my fingers for sure. That was there's a special run, and with some guys that I still love, still talk to this day, and that was a magical run for sure.
I know for me, the emotions, I'm a huge Mavs fan, and the emotions of even just watching now that Spurs intro right before you came out, where you got the hometown intro in the enemy city, the city that you broke their heart when you made the and one on Manu. You know, what did that mean to you in your final game there?
Yeah, I think that was the most emotional I got during that whole last week of me retiring and, you know, figuring out in my head, okay, this is it. That was the most emotional I got. It was pregame when Pop and obviously that organization played that video for me. So it was that was a lot. Before I kind of kept it all together. I kept it together the night before at the home game, which was incredible when they brought out obviously 5 of my heroes, and that's also a night I will never forget. But that was the most emotional I got watching the video, and I think it was just. I had so much adrenaline going. I wanted to do well the last game, and then unexpectedly they did that for me, and it just all came out. Figuring this is my last time hearing my name called and going through layup lines, and I think it definitely hit me there, and that was so sweet from the Spurs. Obviously, nothing but respect for Pop, for R.C. Buford, what they built over this such a long time, excellency for a long time, and I have nothing but respect for him. So that was so sweet, and that was the most emotional point probably of my last couple of weeks there.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do this exhibit, is moments like that where greatness can recognize greatness. It doesn't. We're competitors, but we're not enemies, and that's the spirit that I hope you got when you walked through it here a few minutes ago. Was there anything that stuck out in your mind as you walked through, or like, oh, this was a good reminder of sports?
Yeah, I mean, all the situations there were incredible. I love the Jesse Owens medals from 1936, obviously with the history in Germany and stuff. So there were a lot of emotional, cool moments in there that I enjoyed. Some of the Trailblazers, Jackie Robinson, and so it's been that was super well done. So I enjoyed my quick walkthrough.
We appreciate it. But that you said the phrase a minute ago of loyalty, and the statue that says loyalty never fades away. And I think this city will always be loyal to you, not just for the basketball, but for the other things. And for a long time, people didn't know about your visits to hospitals and visit kids. How did that all start, and how did you keep that so secret for so long?
Yeah, well, it actually started as a Mavs thing. We used to do, just team appearances in hospitals, and all around the city. Went to Cook in Fort Worth. I mean, all over Scottish Rite. We were kind of all over. The whole team kind of split up, and then it was just my favorite appearance kind of over the year, just bringing joy, bringing gifts and stuff. And so I think at some point, either the Mavs stopped or we couldn't coordinate with everybody anymore. The schedules weren't great. And I still said, I want to keep doing this. That's my favorite appearance of the year. And then we kind of just, did my own thing there. And yeah, I kept doing it for, I don't even know how long it is now, 20 years. Yeah, it's amazing to go in there and see these families that are going through such a hard time, and just, bring some smiles, sit down, play a game of Uno, play some guitar, just really making the kids obviously is so resilient. It's usually the parents that are obviously going through the toughest time, and just talking to the parents, making them smile, bringing some different thoughts to this, and just making them forget maybe just for 20 minutes about what they're going through, and maybe helping them with a positive outlook. And so that was been my favorite appearance, like I said, and we've been doing it for a long time. And at one time, really, the Dallas Morning News kind of heard about it. So, Brad Townsend at the time, and he said, "Hey, can I follow you one time? I think it'd be a cool piece." And we said, "Sure, if it's not about me, if you make it about the families and the great work, obviously, the hospital and the doctors and the nurses are doing." And he wrote a wonderful piece, and that. People loved it, and then it's gotten a little bit more public. But obviously, that's not why we're doing it. We're doing it for these families and for the people in the hospital.
It's a superpower that athletes have. It's such a gift and a weight. And is that even today, like this, you filled a room of people. You haven't played basketball in however many years. These people are all here to hear you. And it's going to be like that for the rest of your journey. But do you ever reflect on how can I make the most of this? And is that why you made the Nowitzki Foundation?
Well, so I had great veterans when I first got here that kind of taught me how you don't know coming here from Germany. I was trying to play some basketball, and Steve and Mike, they both had their foundations, and the Mavs Foundation was around, and they're just, instill in you that you're part of this community. You're not just here to play basketball twice a week. You're part of this community. The fans come out and support you, and you do your best to also help this community grow and get better. And so I learned a lot from, like I said, from great friends and veterans that I had, and then I found my foundation, I think my third year, 2001, so it's been literally 25 years here, and just started to look for local programs, local organizations we can support, and we usually do one fundraiser a year, which is a big tennis event, since I'm a tennis guy, so that's usually in September. We have a big tennis outing, and that's our big fundraiser. And then we give out grants at the end of the year to amazing local organizations to do great work for kids and women and in education, health, whatever the case may be. So there's been some terrific organizations we supported over the last 25 years. One of my favorite things during the pandemic too, we saw there was a basic need of stuff, and so we started doing food drives the last couple of years, twice a year for Thanksgiving and for Mother's Day. We partnered down with the Mark Cuban Center in Oak Cliff, and so we feed about 800 families twice a year with food and turkeys, and so that's one of my favorite things we do a year. So this is I think something that is part of my legacy here in Dallas, and I always wanted to keep going and keep being part of the community and make the community better.
Well, and that sometimes is even in big and in small ways. We have a common acquaintance, Sully Sullivan, right here in the front row. And 7 years ago to this day, I was kind of struggling with turning 40. It turns out you're about 6 months older than me. And so I said, I know a guy that could cheer you up on hitting 40. Scott, can you play it back there?
Happy 40th, Andrew. This is your boy Dirk. Take it from me. 40 ain't that bad. Enjoy. All right.
Thank you for that.
No, thank you.
Appreciate it. And
So it's actually your birthday
today's
today,
my birthday. Yeah, it is actually.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I mean, talk about a birthday gift. I mean, hanging out with my.
Not bad.
We've had some cool folks on the podcast. President Bush, Supreme Court Justice Gorsuch. This is the coolest.
Okay.
By a mile. By a mile. So sitting out in the hall, speaking of President Bush, sitting out in the hallway is your portrait that he painted of you. At the Bush Center, we are firm believers that regardless of your background, you can come to the U.S. and make a difference. And sometimes that's through, it's often and always through hard work, and sometimes it's your engineering skills, sometimes it's your hard manual labor, sometimes it's your silky smooth jump shot. When President Bush called you and said, "Hey, I think we want to, I want to put you in my book of immigrants," what did you think?
Yeah, I was a little surprised at first. I didn't really think that he was an artist or
He's good news. I'm not sure he is either.
I didn't think I knew that he was a painter and an artist. And no, once obviously we started talking, I was very honored, very humbled that he considered me for his project. And yeah, so really happy that it all worked out, and I'm part of obviously this great book. And he's pretty talented. I mean, it looks like me a little bit.
A little bit. Well, you can all judge for yourselves. It's in the hallway.
It's in the hallway. Yeah, check it out. Made my face nice and skinny and long, and so no, I think he did a great job. And like I said, I was super honored and humbled, to be picked as one of the immigrants that obviously came over here and tried to be part of the community and lived out his dream, and try to change obviously where we lived. So I was honored, and I'm glad I was part of the book.
That's the message. Is you've joined this community. You're not from Dallas. You're not born and raised in Dallas. But I mean, I'm wearing a Dallas shirt, and there's a Dirk Nowitzki silhouette on it. He's from Germany, but you're a part of this city. And how were there things in the city that really gave you comfort to home when you were new here?
Well, I had to go to Kubi's right away.
That's right up the road. German restaurant.
If you haven't been to Kubi's, you have to go over there at Snyder Plaza. Good spot. At the beginning, I was there a lot. Just getting, my black bread that we love, with all that stuff, the candy and some schnitzel. So that was important. Other than that, honestly, at the beginning, the locker year was just strictly gym, hotels, flying, planes, playing. So there was not a lot of stuff that I saw, especially my year one. But as I've been here longer then, started to enjoy the city more, go out more, go to restaurants and museums around here, and obviously Sixth Floor Museum and all the stuff that we all got to love about the city. So I learned my first couple years here, and what I love about Dallas, it's just a good family town to me. Everybody's friendly. Everybody wants to live with each other and make it work, and it's a little spread out for me.
Yeah, you got to drive a lot.
It's far from one end to the other, but yeah, we have a great airport going anywhere in the world. My kids are born here; they love it. So this is our home.
There's an urban myth that in those days you were driving around in a Volkswagen Jetta to these places. Is that true?
It wasn't a Volkswagen Jetta, but it was definitely a small rental car. So my first year, like I said, was the lockout year, so I knew I was only going to be here for like 2.5 months.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want to really buy a car. I don't have time. We have practice twice a day. So I rented this car, and it was getting a smaller, mid-size, I guess. And so every time I pulled up to the practice facility or the airport, the guys were killing me. I'm like, what are you driving this thing for? And so my old car, I think I told this story a couple times, but it's still funny. My old car in Würzburg was an old VW, a Golf, and it didn't have air conditioning. So you just roll down the window. It's like 90s. Right?
Yeah. So crank it.
So I got here, and so this was getting into May. It was getting warm out. So I'm going to one of the games. I'm sweating. I'm rolling down my window. I didn't know actually that car had AC. And all I needed to do was push the AC button, but I didn't know. It was getting hot, and I always showed up to the game already half sweating. And they were like, and then one day somebody asked me, why are you already sweating when you walk in here? I was like, my car is so hot in the car. And they showed me that little button that says AC.
Welcome to Dallas.
That was a breakthrough. That was a breakthrough in American culture here, for sure.
All right, you want to talk some current NBA hoop?
Whatever you want. Yeah, what
right,
do you guys want to talk about?
Let's talk about Cooper Flag. What do you see in this new Mav wonderkind?
Yeah, I mean, sky's the limit, honestly. I mean, you guys seen it. Just already so mature, such a great all-around player. Whether it's defense, two-way player, offense, go downhill, finish with both hands. He's got the pull-ups. He's got the post-up. I think the only thing that he can still wants to improve on is obviously his three ball. But other than that, how he reads the game. Now he's playing point guard again. How he gets his teammates involved. He can score anytime he wants. He can get in the lane whenever he wants. So been super impressed with him. Obviously, as a #1 pick, you have a load of pressure on you, and he's just a workhorse, and he's been tremendous to watch. So, and he's only 19, which is crazy. So, I think the sky's the limit, and I got to say the Mavs got super lucky there. I mean, after that debacle trade to.
I wasn't going to ruin everybody's Saturday with that, but
To get the #1 pick, and sometimes the #1 pick doesn't pan out either, but this kid is going to pan out, and so obviously now, trading AD, they're moving along, moving forward, building around this kid, which is obviously the right thing to do, and he's going to have a tremendous career if he stays healthy.
And this is something I've been curious about, if he stays healthy. And, we've all talked about AD, but in all seriousness, you had a remarkably healthy career, especially for a 7-footer. And maybe some of that is some of the unorthodox training that you did. Why has that, not caught on in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, the training that Holger did with me was a little old school at times, even with all those deep knee bends, and, you're only supposed to stretch to a certain part. Well, he yanked my leg around, and so it was, people were kind of giggling and laughing about the way we trained, but I've never had one pulled muscle in my entire career, not that I can remember. So something that the old man was brewing up there was definitely working for me, and it's just, I feel like we need to train. The game has changed now. It's faster. It's moving faster. So we need to train a little bit like we want to play. Train more in the summer instead of just all individual work. Everybody has his workout coach now. Everybody loves standing there dribbling, but we need more. You need to play in the summer. You need to stay in shape to play that game at that speed. It's all about speed and spacing these days. Everybody's running more. There are more closeouts, more change of directions, and so your training has to reflect what you want to do in the game. And so that's what I would say. But Holger's methods were definitely. They used to say we train like the old school Russians a little bit, but it worked for me and my muscles and my bones.
And when we talk about Cooper Flag again, you were the first point center around here, and when he rolled out in Game 1 in the starting lineup at point guard, were you surprised? What were you thinking?
Well, I think once they drafted him at 1, Jay Kidd kind of said that all summer, that he was going to try it. He tried a little bit in Summer League, which was tough for him. And so I figured it was coming at some point. Jay Kidd obviously has tried it a little bit with Giannis when he had him in Milwaukee, and that obviously panned out great. So I think Jay Kidd enjoys putting these young guys that have such a high ceiling in positions at the beginning to make them uncomfortable and to push them to grow, and he thinks only the tough ones get through that and work through it and keep working and keep a positive mindset, and I think Jay Kidd just puts them in these positions to kind of test them, to see their limits, and obviously looking back now, even Cooper said it when I interviewed him a few weeks, that it was great that he did that at the beginning, because now he's already so much ahead of the curve a couple months into the season, and you can tell how he runs the point now, how poised he is. He's coming off the pick and roll. He keeps the defender behind him, keeps eating space, and it just makes less turnovers, better decisions on the ball. And so I think Jay Kidd definitely knew what he was doing there, and even though at the beginning it might have been hard to watch and hard on Cooper, but you can see now how much he already improved.
When we look back here, we see the Dirk silhouette, the famous Dirk silhouette that came actually later in your career. And President Bush became a painter later in his career. Talk about these second acts and continuing to improve yourself as a person and your art, whether that's sport or literal art.
Yeah, so my goal was always to get the maximum out of my talent. I didn't want to settle. I didn't want to be happy with my first contract or, first championship. You always got to keep pushing, keep improving, always got to keep working, improving your craft. And so that was always my goal, to never settle, never be satisfied, and always improve and work on your craft. So even when I was close to 40 at the end, in the summer, I was practicing with Holger for months at a time, and just to dedicate myself to what I was doing and give it 100%, and then live with the outcome. Then if you put everything in and there's one bucket and you put it all in, at the end when it's all over, you have no regrets.
When I was in my youth, I spent a little time on the hoop troop with the Mavericks. Thanks, Brandon, for reminding me of that.
How was that?
That was a blast.
Okay.
And the coolest part of that was that at 5 o'clock, we'd go down to the practice court and pull stuff out of the closet by the practice court. And the year you were an MVP, the first person in that gym every day was this guy. His sweatpants pulled up a little awkwardly high. But you were the first one in that gym. Like
the sweaty knees.
Yeah, the sweaty knees. How do you is that something that people are still that the stars are still doing? And what was in you that made you the one that was first in the gym every day?
Well, it's just kind of how I was raised. My parents, they were hardworking and dedicated to their jobs. And then Holger, instilling me, hey, you have some talent, but you need to work every day, on your mechanics, on your shooting, on your dribbling, on your body. It's just every day. It's not a sprint. It's a long marathon, and you need to work on your craft every day. And so that's what I was doing. And also my leadership style was more, I guess, lead by example. Go out there and work hard and practice after practice, get shots up, play sick, hurt. You try to be out there for your team. And so that was kind of also my style of leadership. I wasn't a big rah-rah guy. I didn't want to go in the locker room and hold long speeches. I felt like there were other guys for that, or the coaches. My style was, hey, I'll play hard. I'm here, and let's try to win the game. And so that was part of my leadership style, and my DNA was to work hard and give it all I had.
What does Coop need to add to his game? You added the fadeaway. You mentioned a minute ago he's got to work on his three-point shooting a little bit. What is his game missing that you really think he needs to go to the lab and work on?
Well, I think his game downhill is already super, super good. Great athlete, can finish with both hands. It's going to be some of the shooting, some of the mid-range, At some point, especially when you get towards the playoffs, defenses are going to lock in. They're going to wall you off earlier. They're not going to let you get as deep to the basket. So it's going to be some of the mid-range shot creating, and some of the three ball. And I think his mid-range, to me, has come a long way already. He's got the turnarounds. He's working on this fadeaways. So I think that's going to be the next phase. He's already so good getting downhill, doing the rim. Teams are going to try to wall that off, especially if the Mavs will get to the playoffs, not this year, but at some point,
we need draft picks now.
Yeah, let's see what happens next few years. But in the playoffs, they're trying to take your strength away, and they're really adamant about it. And so they're going to obviously take some of that away, some of his bursts to the rim, and then he's going to have to score in different ways, score mid-range, 3-ball, and decision-making in pick and roll, and all that stuff he's just going to get better at.
And so, other than Coop, who are your favorite guys to watch in the league today? And when you say, Amazon's got this game, you're like, oh man, I'm glad I'm getting to watch him tonight.
Yeah, so every time we usually have doubleheaders, so it's 4 teams, and the week leading up. So I'll watch the games. I'll try to lock in. Like next week we have Orlando, so I'm gonna look forward to watch some Orlando games with the Germans there. Even though I heard Franz is out again for hopefully not too much longer. But yeah, it's been exciting to really dive back into the league a little bit more again, learn about the new style that these guys are playing now. It's almost like I'm sitting there, I'm rewind this offense, and I'm like, they didn't run anything, no plays.
They're just winging.
So then I go back the next play, wait, that was one pick and roll, that was it? There's nothing really to analyze. It's all about speed. Everybody's just one pass and driving, kicking, shooting threes from everywhere. So it's been interesting to kind of dive into that and see how they create shots and how the new game is played. It's already changed so much since I'm out, and this has been only 6-7 years. So the game has changed tremendously. Still love to watch Luka, of course. Watched him a little bit last night against the Clippers. He was on fire. Jokic is incredible, and obviously in Denver, and what a season. Shea, OKC last year. So, some of the best players we have in the world. They're incredible, talented, and incredible shot makers and playmakers. So I think this. We have a lot of great stars, so I think the league is in a good space there. There's some stuff in the NBA going on that we need to obviously hopefully improve with the draft and some of the early tanking that's already going on. So I think the league has to look at some stuff and improve some stuff. But for the style of basketball and this young stars we have, I think the game is in incredible hands. Wemby going to be great for, if healthy, next 10, 15 years, best player in the league. Love watching Ant. Watched him a little bit last night. He had a 40-piece on somebody.
He couldn't have done it in your day, not with,
he would have had 50 on my.
You had guys coming under your feet on 3-point shots. I remember Bruce Bowen.
I would have shot definitely more free throws now. That's for sure. That's for sure. But so yeah, these are some of the amazing players that are fun to watch in any given night.
And so finally, as we close out, when you turn on the TV and you see Kevin Durant do the Dirk, you see LeBron do the Dirk, you see Luka do the Dirk. I mean, that is probably outside of the logo, that is the most famous basketball silhouette out there. Like, I got nothing. I
got nothing either.
What you got, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible that these guys, enjoy the shot, think it's a good, weapon to have, or to get a shot off even last second, or, it's just so easy to create a little bump and create a little space and get the shot up. And so, yeah, it's been fun to watch, to see that shot really evolve with these guys to the next level, and for that shot to live on, and for them to embrace the shot as like a good weapon to have against defenses. It's been fun to watch. So, yeah, that's all I got for you.
Dirk, I know this is your Saturday. You've got a busy schedule now that you're flying to Los Angeles all the time. Everybody give Dirk Nowitzki a round of applause.
Oh, you guys are sweet. Thank you.
And I also want to make sure.
Oh, you guys are sweet. Thank you.
And also thank you to everybody at the Bush Center who gave up their Saturday for this. Scotty in the back, Sully, Brian, Sandra, Olivia, Brooke, Graham. A lot of people it takes to make this happen. So thank all of y'all for everything, and thank you for coming up.
Thank you guys. So cool.